Doom Eternal is one of my favorite games because of the intense action and the awesome graphics. It seems to run well on just about any kind of hardware, which is a testament to how efficient the in-game engine is. Now, running Doom Eternal on the boot camp drivers is something of a problem, or can be something of a problem. As you can see here, Doom is warning me that updated drivers are required. There are no updated drivers for the Radeon graphics card under boot camp. If you attempt to install any other graphics drivers other than boot camp drivers, you will get an error. So we have no choice but to click play. Now what will happen is that if Doom Eternal is not set to set to a resolution that will fill your entire screen, it will only fill it partially. As in, literally, if it's 640 by 480, it'll only appear in this small corner of the screen. Once we go through all these preliminary screens, I'll show you what I'm talking about in the settings. So if you go to settings, under video, first thing you'll have to do under a Mac with 4 gigabytes of RAM is go to overall quality and set it to low or medium at best, but I would set it to low just to ensure that you have enough VRAM, and Doom will tell you about the VRAM up here. Set it to low so that you'll have enough VRAM to properly run, because if you set overall quality to something like high, you'll get a big caution sign up here, and it'll tell you that you need more video RAM than you actually have, and you won't be able to make any changes. So set it to low. Okay, so that will allow you to set your resolution. Now on the Mac, the proper resolution for the screen is 3072 by 1920. There are higher resolutions available, but what will happen is parts of the screen will be unviewable. So do not use this resolution. Just to show you what will happen if you set your resolution to a lower than the native resolution, you'll see that everything now is in a corner. It's not a lower resolution spread out over the entire screen. It's a lower resolution stuck off in a corner. So now you actually have to very carefully look at this small print and reset your resolution so that you can see the screen. But as you can see, the screen is up. It's running at 60 frames a second, which is the maximum for the maximum for the MacBook Pro display. So let's fire up a game just so that we can see what's going on. So right now, Doom Eternal is running at 60 frames a second at the native resolution of the MacBook Pro screen. So you have a AAA modern game running at high frame rate. Even though we've had to make some compromises because of the relatively low graphics memory, only 4 gigabytes on this MacBook Pro. because of the fast-paced action, you won't really notice it, because the texture detail doesn't matter when everything is flying around on the screen. And as you can see, all the visual elements and the geometry, the jibs, all that stuff is happening at a high speed, so you can game effectively on your MacBook Pro with Doom Eternal, and probably any game under the Radeon drivers, if you make sure that the resolution is set to the native resolution of the screen that you're on, because if it's not, it will only be in a corner. And as you can see, it's running quite well. So you can indeed game on a standard non-built-to-order Mac, because this is not the BTO Mac with the $800 upgrade to the video card. This is just a standard Radeon 5500M with 4 gigabytes of VRAM, and it's running pretty well. So I'm actually going to try to bump up the video quality to medium to see if I can even tell a difference and if it's still runnable. Seems like I can see a bit more detail. It is somewhat noticeable. Not terribly, but somewhat. Excellent graphics. And the frame rate is still locked tight on 60. So at medium graphics setting, I'm able to get 60 frames a second at the full native resolution of the screen. But as you can see, it's running quite well. So now, just for fun, I have moved Doom Eternal over to my gaming monitor. So I had to set the monitor to monitor number 2, which is the external monitor, which is Doom Eternal, which is my gaming monitor. It's 1440, so I set that resolution. Even though it shows higher resolutions here, it won't support it. And as you can see, gaming actually drains the battery faster than the charger can recharge it. So I better get in whatever gaming I can. I had to make sure that the refresh rate was set to 144 for the display adapter. Let's go ahead and see if we can get in a quick couple of minutes. Looks really good. Even at 1440, which is 2K, it's running at almost 100 frames a second with no action on the screen. Well, that quickly dropped. So there's a lot of variability with the frame rate. If you look in the upper right hand corner here, you can see what's going on as far as frame rate. With all the hectic action that's going on the screen, I still maintain a frame rate of about 70 to 80. So with nothing going on the screen, this Radeon 5500M with 4 gigabytes of RAM is running at about 100 frames a second, actually more than 100 frames a second. Once things start happening, once the action gets hectic, frame rate seems to drop to about 60 or 70. It's not consistent, so it doesn't seem as smooth. But it's quite impressive that this laptop, which is not designed to be a gaming laptop, can allow you to game on a modern AAA title like Doom Eternal with all the jibs, all the action, smooth animation. This is actually pretty impressive that this laptop, which is not a gaming laptop at all, is allowing me to game at a pretty respectable frame rate for a game like Doom Eternal. So if anyone asks if you can game with a MacBook Pro, the answer is an unequivocal yes.